this water, or you're allowed to be entrained into the stream of water in your hose line, a soap-type compound. And this compound mixes with the water at the branch, and it produces a sud-like effect, which is foam. And what you're going to see is two types of foam at work. The branch nearest to you here will be using a low expansion foam, so you can get a good jet. And the branch further back there, which is nearest the fire, will be using a medium expansion foam, which produces much larger quantities, but you can't get the throw like you can through a branch. Now the important thing, if those men put water on that fire, it will explode. That's why those jets are kept down against the ground until he can see the foam coming through the jet. As soon as he sees the foam coming through that jet of water, he knows it's safe to concentrate the jet on the fire. If he doesn't get it wrong, if he gets it wrong, that fire will explode. So the foam is coming through the branch, and it's being thrown onto the top of the burning petrol. And this has formed a skin, and this skin has started to cover the petrol, and in covering it, separates it from the air. And that means the fire will go out. The heat will be still there, but the fire will go out. And it's the same principle as your chip pan. If you get a chip pan fire, you put the lid on top of the chip pan right away to stop the air getting at it. So there you are. Successfully, the fire is successfully put out. A perfect demonstration, perfect out. Again, the same methodical, just trying to think of the right word, the same amount of trouble is taken to put all that equipment back on the appliance, ready to go to another fire. All the equipment that you see here this afternoon is carried on our first line appliances. Because fires now are, it's not just a question, as you've seen, of just simply putting water on a fire. If we did that last time, we would have had an explosion. And there's many chemicals and many situations a fireman goes to where using water would just be extremely dangerous. Fire service, we turned out 92,880 times in 1988, and if you did a calculation, that would... If you did a calculation, that would... Now this is going to be our finale, so be prepared for anything, literally.
How'd you get it up there?
We're going to see every one of our skills, we're just going to see every one of our skills really that have been demonstrated already come together in the one finale display piece here. Now there are 3 rescues there that have to be carried out. There's a young lady up on the 3rd floor there. The lads seem to be going for her first. There's somebody up on the top to the left there. So this young lady, she looks a very attractive young lady from here. Wendy's massage parlour. There's also the turntable ladder getting to work on your right hand side, and you've got the hydraulic platform on your left hand side. Now these are what we call special appliances. The turntable ladder on your right can reach well over 100 feet. It can be used for a water tower, it can be used for rescues. It can be used for getting anywhere along the face of the building or onto the roof. And the hydraulic platform on your left can do all similar things, but it has the advantage that it can be used as a lift. You can actually carry out very successful rescues using the hydraulic platform on your left here, because what it is really is a hydraulic lift. You've got men in the cage up there at the top of the arm, and you've got a hydraulic lift that can move up and down the front of a building. It can actually move forward into a building or across a roof space. An extremely flexible piece of equipment, an excellent piece of equipment. And you can use it for all sorts of things. You can use it for rescues, you can take a person down in that cage and literally make it act like a lift. Or you can take people up to a part of a building. And if you want to concentrate on Wendy, she's just coming down the ladder in the middle of the drill ground there. I mean, there's quite a lot going on here. As I say, it all looks deceptively simple, but you've got 3 gents to work there. You've got Wendy, obviously overcome by that situation. It's nice to see equality in work. And the line's going aloft there with the hose and branch attached to it. The second line's following it. And there's a stretcher coming out on the balcony area between the 2 towers. It's a Paragard, looks like a Paragard stretcher from here. There's a person inside there. So what's happened there with that rescue, that they've decided to lower the person using a Paragard stretcher. So they're going to lower that person down the side of the building rather than maybe take them down any other way. They've decided to lower them and take them down the outside of the building. The lovely thing about these stretchers is the ambulance in a real life situation would be there waiting, and it would be straight into the ambulance, keeping them on the stretcher in the way they would go to hospital. Quick, fast, efficient. You can see there's a lot of hose that has to be laid out to feed a large display like this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 jets to work. And that jet working off the roof there, I mean, as I say, it just looks very straightforward. You wouldn't think maybe twice about the jet working off the roof on your right there. The 2 firefighters are on a roof ladder and they've got the jet working from the roof. But that can be an extremely difficult position to work from. If the pressure, for instance, if the pressure gets wrong or there's a sudden build-up of pressure, you could actually have a very dangerous situation. It's very difficult to work from a roof in a position like that because a hose line is extremely strong when there's water pressure inside it, and men really have to know their job and their equipment and have to have a high degree of skill to be able just to do something as simple as that. Working from a roof, using a roof ladder and taking a jet from that roof ladder. Looks so deceptively simple, but it's one of the positions that it can be extremely dangerous. And that really is part really of knowing your equipment and knowing what to do and how far you can go. I mean, this has all been telescoped into one very small area. At a real fire, to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jets to work. We generally may not necessarily be concentrated in an area like that. You may have 2 or 3 aiming at one part of the fire and maybe another 3 aiming at another part of the fire, driving the fire maybe towards a wall which you know will act as a brake and will kill your fire as soon as it gets to it. But for a demonstration, you can see really what we have to do, which is to get as much water as quickly as possible onto the fire to stop it spreading. They've been given the order now to knock off. Now this is important. In a large fire, it's important that you don't knock off the wrong jets. And this is why you see every man following along the hose that he has been working on. He sticks with his own hose line. He knows where it goes. It might go for it could go for as long as a quarter of a mile, a length of hose. You know, there could be maybe 30, 40 lengths in it at a large fire. So you've really got to follow your hose line back to your appliance. That could, you know, honestly, it would be quite far away from where the fire is. And this is why every fireman runs back along the hose line that he's been working on. There's a lot of equipment to make up here now. But before each piece is turned, before those ladders are returned to the appliance, each one of them will be tested. The equipment will be made up, every hose line will be drained of water completely and folded and placed in the rack in the appliance where it came from. So for the probationary firefighter, the second stage of this learning process is literally learning from experience. They've got exceedingly good grounding for a worthwhile career.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Arthur Wiggets. I'm the Deputy County Fire Officer. And first of all, I'd like to welcome the guests, friends and relatives to the passing out parade today. I think what you've seen demonstrated today is after 12 weeks hard work by the personnel in front of you. And I think we've all been quite taken aback by, in fact, the standard and the pace at which, in fact, this has taken place. And from that point of view, even on this chilly afternoon, whilst we here, in fact, have shivered a bit, the men out there have really shown what, in fact, they're capable of. And I would certainly pass on my personal commendation to the men there for this afternoon's display. Your families and your friends and your relatives are here today and have seen what you're capable of. And I'm sure they will see with me how well you do it and how much effort you put into it. And I'm sure I can vouch for them that they will wish you well in your career in the future. Let me just in parting say your performance today was of the standard that we in Greater Manchester demand. Many other authorities have their own standards. We have the highest standard in the UK and we demand it of you. And you've certainly produced that today. And I thank you once again for your performance. I wish you every success in your future career and look forward to, in fact, seeing you on fire stations in the future. Thank you very much. I'd like now to come to a very pleasing part of the ceremony, and that is the presentation of the Endeavour Award. The guests that are here today do have programmes, and within the programme there, it tells you a little bit about the Endeavour Award. It's donated by the County Fire Officer, and it goes to the recruit who's judged to have produced consistently the greatest amount of effort in both practical and technical terms throughout the course. Now, at this moment in time, nobody, bar a very small band of instructors, know who this Endeavour Award is going to. None of the recruits know who, in fact, is going to at all. That's how close a secret it is guarded. And one of these young men out there is going to have this award presented to him today, mainly due to his consistent effort, rather than being the best recruit, his consistent effort during the 12 weeks of that course. And that's a very demanding and a very privileged position to be in. Mr. Manhennick, could you in fact advise now who in fact has won this award?
Recruit Fireman McDermott, sir.
Recruit Fireman McDermott.